War for the kingdom of Yah.
One of the greatest tribulations that there ever were. And there's something unusual is happening in that tribulation period or in that tribulation time. Somehow people don't understand or don't even realize that they are even in a tribulation. They don't know. They don't know that they're in one of the greatest tribulations this world has ever seen. They go about their lives without a thought of understanding I'm in a period of tribulation. They're oblivious to it. But the Bible tells us that we have to discern the time. We have to watch and see what time we are in. Of course, no man knows the hour, no man knows the day. That's reserved for the Father and the Father alone. But he gives us context clues to the time and the era in which we live. So I'm going to start off with a little short clip. I'm going to share my screen, and I'm going to start off with a little short clip, and then we're going to get the scriptures. This guy here is the chief general, secretary general for NATO. The chief secretary general for NATO. Let's see what he has to say real quick. Bauer is his name. Let's see.
You need to have water, you need to have a radio on batteries, and you need to have a flashlight on batteries to make sure that you can survive the first 36 hours. Things like that. That's
Now wait. Did y'all hear what he said initially when I cut it on? Because it's a short clip. He says you need to have water. You need to have at least have batteries and flashlight for the first 30 if you're going to survive the first 36 hours. Did y'all hear that? I'm gonna play it again. Oh. Yeah, I'm gonna play it again. Now this just came out last week. This is the chief secretary general for NATO, for the armed forces of NATO, a conglomerate of European countries plus America. Let's see what his assessment is about what's going on.
You need to have water, you need to have a radio on batteries, and you need to have a flashlight on batteries to make sure that you can survive the first 36 hours. Things like that. That's simple things. But it starts there. The realization that not everything is plannable, not everything is going to be hunky-dory in the next 20 years. I'm not saying it is going wrong tomorrow, but we have to realize it's not a given that we are in peace. And that's why we have the plans. That's why we are preparing for a conflict with Russia and the terror groups, if it comes to it, if they attack us.
He said, that's why we're preparing for it. That's why we're preparing for a conflict with Russia and its terror groups. Now, some time ago, we went into the prophecy and we brought this prophecy out. We're going to bring it out again. But right now, the prophecy is being fulfilled. I want to show you that we talked about the prophecy and gave you the prophecy breakdown some time ago. The prophecy now is being fulfilled, and we want to show you that. Let me finish that clip up.
We're not.
All right. I think that was the end of the clip. Okay, did you all hear us? Did you brothers and sisters out there, did you all hear us? Hear the clip? Okay, great. All right. Now, let's go. Let's go to Zechariah, the first chapter. Remember what he said? He said, we're preparing for Russia we're preparing for its terrorist allies. That's what he said. That's what we're preparing for. The United States and the NATO and the NATO coalition of Europe. The West is preparing for battle. Now, let's go to Zechariah, the first chapter. Let's begin at the 18th verse.
The book of Zechariah, chapter 1, verse 18. Then lift I up mine eyes and saw, and behold, 4 horns.
Zechariah said he's seen 4 horns. These 4 horns are representative of 4 world governments. These 4 horns are representatives of 4 world governments. Let's see who they are. Verse 19.
And I said unto the angel that talked with me, what be these?
What are these 4 governments? Come on.
And he answered me, these are the 4 horns which have scattered Judah, Israel, and Jerusalem.
So these 4 horns are the 4 governments who are responsible for the scattering of Judah and for the scattering of Israel. There's only one time in history where there was a scattering of Southern Kingdom and a scattering of Northern Kingdom, and there was only one place that they did it in, the Western Hemisphere. They did it in the Western Hemisphere. So who were they? Who were the 4 horns? You have Portugal was the first participators in the transatlantic slave trade, Portugal. Next, you have Spain, huge participant in the transatlantic slave trade. That's why you have a lot of brothers and sisters speaking Spanish and a lot of brothers and sisters speaking Portuguese. France is another huge slave trade who pushed the agenda of scattering Judah and scattering Israel. That's why you have a lot of Creole speaking people from that particular governments or system of government that pushed the slave trade. That's 3. Then you have the United Kingdom. The United Kingdom, I'm going to put the United Kingdom and the United States as one and the same. Because the United States is that little horn that comes up out of the United Kingdom. So I'm going to put them as one and the same. These are the 4 horns that scattered Judah, the 4 horns that scattered Israel. And they did it all in the Western Hemisphere. Now, you had the sub-Saharan slave trade, but they didn't scatter both Judah and Israel. They didn't both scatter them. They only scattered the Southern Kingdom, primarily. All right. Now let's go to verse 20.
And Yah showed me 4 carpenters. Then said I, what come these to do?
So now you've seen the 4 horns. Now you have the 4 carpenters. You've seen the 4 horns. Now you have the 4 carpenters. He said, now what are these? The prophet said, now what are these 4 carpenters come to do? The 4 carpenters have a certain set of skills. These carpenters are skilled in guerrilla warfare. These carpenters are skilled at guerrilla warfare. What are they come to do? Read on, verse 21, read on.
And he spake, saying, these are the horns which have scattered Judah.
Mm-hmm.
So
Watch this. Listen closely. Watch the prophet, how he describes who they are and the attribute of theirs. This is how you know who they are. Read it again. These are the horns.
Then said I, what come thee to do? And he spake, saying, these are the horns which have scattered Judah, so that no man did lift up his head.
So that no man did lift up Judah's head. No, the scattering of Judah on the other side of the world, either in the so-called Middle East or Africa, Asia, and those areas, they didn't have no man to lift up Judah's head. They didn't have a Martin Luther King. They didn't have a Malcolm X. They didn't have a Marcus Garvey. They didn't have a Black Panther movement, a civil rights movement. They didn't have those things on that side of the world during the sub-Sahara slave trade. 1,400 years in the Arab slave trade. 1,400 years in the Arab slave trade. So now you have the four horns, who are world governments: Portugal, Spain, France, United Kingdom, which includes the United States. You have the four carpenters. Who are these four carpenters? Who are these four carpenters? So that no man did lift up their head. Finish out the verse.
But these are come to fray them.
These four carpenters have come to fray the four horns. Everybody clear? Y'all understand what I'm saying? These four carpenters who have scattered Judah, which are the Arab nations, these four carpenters have come to fray the four horns, the four governments, the four world powers. They come to fray them. Come on.
To cast out the horns of the Gentiles, which lift up their horn over the land of Judah to scatter it.
To lift up the horn over the land of Judah to scatter it. So these carpenters will be at war with not only the West, but they would be fraying and at war with also the Israelis that's in the land. That is actually what's happening now. This prophecy is actually being fulfilled in your eyes. With 100% certainty being fulfilled. The Bible is a true book. It's being fulfilled in your eyes. These four carpenters is Iran, Saudi Arabia, United Arab Emirates. These are the four, a part of the four carpenters that are framed in Yemen. Part of the four carpenters that's framed the United States and the West. Let me pull out an article right quick. Watch this. This is from the Reuters.com for this article entitled Putin and Iran signed a new interstate treaty. This article came out January 17th, 2024. It reads, and this is an excerpt from that article. Moscow, January 17th, Reuters. Russia's foreign ministry say on Wednesday that it expects President Vladimir Putin and his Iranian counterpart to soon sign a new interstate treaty between the two countries, which was in the final stages of being agreed. Putin held 5 hours of talks in the Kremlin with the Iranian president, Ibrahim Raisi, last month, amid growing political, trade, and military ties between Moscow and Tehran. Watch this, that the United States and Israel views with concern. Let's get Mark right quick. Let's go to the book of Mark. This stuff, we have to watch the world and see the signs of its coming and understand and know what is happening. Mark 13 and 28. Mark 13 and verse 28.
The book of Mark, chapter 13, verse 28. Now learn the parable of the fig tree. When her branch is yet tender and putteth forth leaves, ye know that summer is near.
So learn the parable of the fig tree. Watch. When we just talking about figs earlier. Watch. You have to learn, watch the fig tree and watch and know when you see the budding of the fig tree, you understand that, and you know summer's coming. That's a sign. Spring is near because I see buds on that tree, right? Right. So summer is near because the budding of the tree is happening. Watch this in verse 29. Come on.
So ye in like manner, when ye shall see these things come to pass, know that it is nigh, even at the doors.
So when you start to see prophecies fulfilled, multiple prophecies being fulfilled at once, you gotta know that he's coming. The Messiah is coming because prophecies are being fulfilled and being manifested. But if you're not watching, you don't understand this. You're oblivious to it. You're going about your business, doing whatever you're doing. You're doing you. You're doing you. You don't understand that he's right at the door. That is about to happen. And like they used to say back in the day, he gonna catch you with your work undone. She said it just when I said it, right? Don't let him catch you with your work undone now. All right, verse 30.
Verily, I say unto you, that this generation shall not pass till all these things be done.
So, yeah, this is Yahushua speaking, right? So Yahushua says, "Verily, truly, I say to you, that this generation that sees these signs shall not pass till all things be done." Meaning, all of the end time prophecies will be fulfilled in this one particular generation. So my mind goes to this, and this is how my brain kind of works, right? Well, how long is a generation? How, you know what I'm saying? Since we don't know the time, we don't know the day nor the hour, we don't know. That's in the Father's hand, but he gives us clues to when it's near. He gives us clues when he could possibly come, right? And then he tells us that everything that we've seen, we're going to see in the same generation. So now my mind want to know, well, how long is a generation? You know what I'm saying? That's where my mind goes. But how long is a generation? Because that'll kind of box it in just about what's about to happen, right? All right, so let's go see. Let's go to Numbers. Let's go to Numbers. All right. The book of Numbers, chapter 14, and we're going to start at verse 28, because according to the scriptures, the generation is between, and I'll just go ahead and tell you, but we're going to get the proof in the scriptures, 35 and 40 years. A biblical generation is between 35 and 40 years. So let's go to Numbers 14 to 28. Let's start there and read on down.
The book of Numbers, chapter 14, verse 28. Say unto them, as truly as I live, saith Yah, as ye have spoken in mine ears, so will I do to you.
Read on.
Your carcasses shall fall in this wilderness, and all that were numbered of you, according to your whole number, from 20
According
years
to,
old,
read on.
from 20 years old and upward.
So he gives you a number now. He said from 20 years old and upward, because your adulthood for the men of the children of Israel starts at 20. From 20 years old and upward is when, according to the Bible, you become a man at 20. And then he begins to talk about the generation that's from 20 years old and upward. Watch what he says. From 20 years old and upward, read on, brother.
Which have murmured against me.
Which have murmured against me. Come on.
Doubtless, ye shall not come into the land concerning which I swear to make you dwell therein.
If you're 20 years old or older, you're not going into the promised land. Because all of your generation has to die because of your doubt and your fear. Read on.
Save Caleb, the son of Jephunneh, and Joshua, the son of Nun.
I'm only going to leave you two older men, rather. Caleb and Joshua will be the oldest men there. The rest of Caleb and Joshua's generation are all going to be gone. They're all going to die. Come on.
But your little ones, which he said shall be a prey, them will I bring in, and they shall know the land which ye have despised.
Read on.
But as for you, your carcasses, they shall fall in the wilderness, in this wilderness. And your children shall wander in the wilderness 40 years.
40 years is now considered a generation. The Most High said 40 years, 20 years old and upward, that whole generation. Who's ever older than 21 in 40 years, that generation is going to die. All right, come on.
And bear your whoredoms until your carcasses be wasted in the wilderness. After the number of days, Salaki, after the number of the days in which he searched the land, even 40 days, each day for a year.
Come on.
Shall ye bear your iniquities.
Come on.
Even 40 years.
And
ye shall know my breach of promise.
You shall know my breach of promise. Now go to Deuteronomy 2 and 14. Let's get clarity on if this is a generation or not. Because I made that statement. So let's see if we can get clarity on it. Deuteronomy 2 and 14.
The book of Deuteronomy, chapter 2, verse 14.
Come on.
And the space in which we came from Kadesh Barnea until we were come over the brook Zered was 38 years. 38 years. 38 years. A generation is, and I made the statement earlier, is between 35 and 40 years. It's considered a generation. When they came over the brook Zered, all of the men of war, a generation had died out. It was a whole nother generation, and they were going into the promised land. Read up, finish that verse. Until all the generation of the men of war were wasted out from among the hosts. As I swear unto them.
As I swear unto them. I told you that whole generation was going to die. This is a new generation. This is a new generation. So a generation is between 35 and 40 years. Let's go to Deuteronomy 1, verse 1 and 2.
The book of Deuteronomy, chapter 1, verse 1. These be the words which Moses spake unto all Israel on this side Jordan, in the wilderness,
come on,
in the plain over against the Red Sea, between Paran and Tophel and Laban and Hazeroth and Dizahab.
Come on, watch this.
There are 11 days' journey from Horeb by the way of Mount Seir unto Kadesh Barnea.
So it took the children of Israel 40 years, what should have took them 11 days. They should have went from the Mount Hira where they see the commandments. They should have left there, and it should have only took them 11 days to get to the promised land. But it took them 40 years to get there, with a whole generation that's dying out because of their fear and their doubt and their murmuring and complaining against the Most High. Let's get Matt one more. Let's get Matthew 1:17. You have to do a little bit of math for this, okay? We're gonna have Sister Daisy do it, a little bit of math. You know, it ain't no math. It ain't no math. Matthew 1:17.
The book of Matthew,
1:17.
chapter 1, verse 17.
Mm-hmm.
So all the generations from Abraham to David are 14 generations.
All the generations from Abraham to David are 14 generations. Come on.
And from David until the carrying away into Babylon are 14 generations.
Are 14 generations. Come on.
And from the carrying away into Babylon until the Messiah.
Okay, to the Messiah, come on.
Are 14 generations.
14 generations, giving us a total of 490 years. How do I know that? I won't go through the breakdown now. But Daniel, according to Daniel 9:24, the 70 weeks are 490 years. From the building of the temple until the birth of the Messiah, 490 years. If you go 35 into times 14 generations, it gives you 490. 490. Right. So a generation is 35, between 35 and 40 years. Did everybody understood what I said?
God.
Yeah, some of you are looking like, huh? All right. Let's go back to Mark 13. So when we start seeing these signs, they're going to happen within a generation. There won't be a multiplicity of generations. According to the scriptures, once the ball starts rolling, they're going to happen all in the same generation. You're going to see plagues. You're going to see fire. You're going to see flood. You're going to see wars. You're going to see men's heart waxing because of fear. You're going to see it all in the same generation. And you can almost tell it because the generation now that's coming up now, I always say they're done. You know, it's almost like it's no hope for that generation, boy. Woo! Telling you, Mark 13 to 31.
Mark 13, verse 31.
Come on.
Heaven and earth shall pass away, but my words shall not pass away.
He said the heaven and earth might pass away, but what I'm telling you is of a truth. It shall not pass away. This is the generation that's going to see the signs of the coming. Come on.
But of that day and that hour knoweth no man. No, not the angels which are in heaven. Neither the Son.
I don't even know. This is Yahweh. He said, I don't even know. Come on.
But the Father.
The Father, he knows. He knows. Come on.
Take ye heed. Watch.
Come on.
And pray.
Come on.
For ye know not when the time is.
You don't know when the time is, but what you do is you discern the time by watching for the signs. Watching for the signs.
And try to live according to the word.
That's right. That's right. Absolutely. Trying to live according to the way while you're watching. So we have to pay attention. We have to take note. We have to pray for understanding. We have to see the prophecies being fulfilled. Because we don't know when the day of vengeance is coming. but we certainly can discern the time. We can certainly discern the time. All right, brother. I think I'm on 34 too. I do. Let's read 34 to 37. Mark 13, 34 through 37.
For the Son of Man is as a man taking a far journey,
Mm-hmm.
who left his house and gave authority to his servants
Mm-hmm.
and to every man his work, and commanded the porter to watch.
He commanded the porter to watch. Come on.
Watch ye therefore,
Mm-hmm.
for ye know not when the master of the house cometh,
Come on.
at even,
Come on.
or at midnight,
Uh-huh.
or at the cock crowing,
Read.
or in the morning,
You don't know when he coming. Come on.
lest coming suddenly
Come on.
he find you sleeping.
And find you with your work undone. Come on.
And what I say unto you, I
Uh-huh.
say unto all,
Say unto my disciples, what I say to my disciples, I say unto all that's coming after my disciples to watch. To watch. That's a warning from Yahweh Shah. Watch. All right. Let's go to Ephesians. Ephesians, the 6th chapter. Ephesians 6 and 18. Ephesians 6 and 18, my brother.
The book of Ephesians, chapter 6, verse 18.
Mm.
Praying always with all prayer and supplication in the spirit,
Come on.
and watching thereunto with all perseverance
Mhm.
and supplication for all saints.
Do you understand what perseverance is? Because some folk think they're supposed to be a cakewalk. They come into this truth and they say they love the Most High, and they think it's just supposed to be all fun and games and easy. They're walking on easy street. What they used to say back in the day, it's a gravy train with biscuit wheels. Am I showing my age a little bit? Gravy train. Gravy train with biscuit wheels, you know. Perseverance is what it takes when you see these things come upon you, upon the earth, rather. Perseverance. You got to learn to hold on. You don't want to be like those folks in Noah's day. They knew not that they knew not that they were in the judgment until the door was shut. And it was too late. That's why Yahweh Shah warns us over and over in the scripture. Watch and pray. Watch. Therefore, watch. Watch what's going on. This is the sign. Watch. That's love. You know, some of y'all be getting off. Look at my finger while I say that. You know, some of y'all be getting off. So we got to watch. We got to watch for the signs. We got to watch ourselves to make sure that we are doing the right things. Even when you think ain't nobody watching, do the right thing. Persevere. Perseverance is the ability to keep doing something despite the obstacles, despite the failure, despite the disappointment, despite the opposition. It is how you show true grit. Y'all know that term?
Grit.
That grit, that dogmatic bulldog tenacity. I ain't letting it go like a pit bull. I ain't gonna let it go. I'm gonna hold on. I ain't letting it go. No matter if you fail. People don't understand that. Well, I failed. Just keep falling then. Come on. Keep falling. You got to keep going. Push your way through. That's the only way you're going to succeed in this truth. That's the only way. You got to keep going. And oftentimes it's going to show you you. Y'all know what I mean by that? Keep going. It's going to show you you. The real you will show up. That funky attitude, that's you. Oh, you didn't think that was you? That's you, funky. That's you. That nasty attitude, that's you. That smart mouth, that's you. It shows up, but then you want to give up. You want to give up because you had a little running. No, that's you. The funny thing about it is we know it's you. You just don't know it's you because you're funky with everybody. We know it's you. Yeah, that's you. You got to press your way through. What Paul said, I'm pressing towards the mark. Yeah, I'm pressing towards the mark. I'm going to persevere. What's going to separate me from this truth? I don't understand people leaving the truth. When I hear that, it is mind-blowing to me. What did you mean you left the truth? How did you leave? What did you leave it for? A lie? You left the truth for a lie? What is going on here? I don't understand. It's mind-blowing to me. If you fail at something, you faulted something, you're struggling with something, stay in this truth and struggle with it. I got problems, but I'm in this truth. So what? Y'all got to deal with it. Help me get through it. Help me overcome it. That's all I'm saying. I ain't going nowhere. I'm right here. I'm going to battle my way through it. I'm going to enter in through the straight gate, and I know there's going to be problems because there's stuff in me I don't like. And that's why you got to understand when people see you, they be like, why they got an attitude with me? Why they don't like me? Because oftentimes you're a reflection of who they are. They see themselves in you when you living right. When you living in this truth, they see themselves in you and they don't like what they see. They don't like that they have a nasty attitude. They don't like that they have a bully mentality. They don't like that. But you show it up in them. Yeah, you show it up in them and say, oh, that's me. That's me. And they don't like that. Men and women. Brothers stay away because they don't want you to show them up. Yeah, men and women go through this. But we got to learn to fight. Press our way through. All right. Let's get 2nd Ezra chapter 14. Let me stay on course. I dipped off the topic real quick, but that's all right. It needed to be said. 2nd Ezra chapter 14, we're going to start at verse 11.
The book of 2nd Ezra, chapter 14, verse 11. For the world is divided into 12 parts,
Mm-hmm.
and the 10 parts of it are gone already.
On.
And half of a 10th part. And there remaineth that which is after the half of the 10th part.
So it's 10 and a half parts of the world already gone. Mm-hmm. We at the end. How many parts did it say it was?
10.
How many parts did it say it was?
12 parts.
12 parts. And in Ezra's day, this is Ezra's. In Ezra's day, he said 10 and a half parts are already gone. So even in his day, he like, we at the end. Mm-hmm. In his day, in his time, he said, we're at the end. We only got a part and a half left. Come on.
Now therefore, set thine house in order.
Get in order, because we only got a small portion of time remaining. Get in order. Come on.
And reprove thy people.
Come on.
Comfort such of them as be in trouble.
Come on.
And now renounce corruption.
And now renounce corruption. I'm gonna say it again. Set your house in order. This is a heavy verse right here. I'm gonna tell you why. Set thine house in order, reprove thy people, comfort such of them as be in trouble, and renounce corruption. What I'm about to say may sound difficult to some. By setting your house in order and by renouncing corruption, you may have to leave some family behind. Oh yeah, your loved ones. Your loved ones. Let's get Matthew, let's hold that. Let's get Matthew 19 and 29. Please, everybody, cut your video cameras off, please.
Say the verse one more time, Bishop.
Matthew 19 and 29.
The book of Matthew, chapter 19, verse 29.
Come on.
And everyone that hateth, Salaki, and everyone that have forsaken houses, or brethren, or sisters, or father, or mother,
Come
or
on.
wife, or children, or lands, for my name's sake, shall receive 100-fold, and shall inherit everlasting life.
This is a tight fight. I want y'all to understand how tight this thing is. This is a tight fight. If you lose them, you lose them. I know people don't like to hear that part of the scriptures. If you lose your family, you lose them. But whoever lose your mother, whoever lose your father or sister, a brother or wife, whoever you lose, for my name's sake, you got to make up in your mind, there's nothing going to separate you from his love. Nothing and no one. I won't be persuaded by no one, no matter who it is. It's Yah over everything and everyone. My love for him is stronger than the love I have for my children. I want y'all to understand. Because who don't love their children? Come from the fruit of their body. Crazy person. Now, you do got some people out here that don't love their kids. Hate them kids. But same people, yeah, same people normally love their children. I mean, they really, we as parents, I never even thought I could love somebody like that. Somebody that a car coming, I just run and try to knock the car, I didn't think I could love somebody like that until I had children. Then I understood I'll give my life for my children. You know what I'm saying? I love my children. So think about what the scripture is saying when it says whoever lose father, mother, sister, brother, or child. What kind of love the father is expecting you to have for him? More than the love you have for your child. More than the love that you have for a parent. We gotta think about that. You gotta ponder on that. Whew. Second Ezra. Let's go back to second Ezra. So when you start to renounce corruption and set your house in order, you start to lose people. When you start saying that ain't happening over here, you start to lose people. We ain't celebrating that in here, you start to lose people. And you have to make up in your mind. Am I going to set things in order, or am I going to be too weak? Or am I going to be too weak and just let it ride? Because you letting it ride have to answer to the Most High for what you letting go on. The corruption you letting happen, you gotta answer for that. You're responsible for that. Especially you men, you brothers. I'm talking especially you brothers in your household. I'm talking to you men, you brothers in your household that's scared to say something to the missus. I know she's terrifying. I know she is terrifying. I know you want peace in the house. I get it. Yeah, I get it. But you gonna have to do something. You have to do something. You're gonna have to tell her no. We ain't doing that. No. And then if she beat you up, she beat you up. You took one for the Most High, though. You took one for the Most High. Hey, let's get second Ezra 14 and 14. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. Second Ezra chapter 14, verse 14.
Let go from thee mortal thoughts.
Mm-hmm.
Cast away the burdens of man. Put off now the weak nature.
Didn't I just say that? Put that weak nature off. I know a brother, I won't say his name because folks know him, and he kept saying, listen, all she said was she just want me to go to church with a bishop. I'm just gonna go to church with her. I ain't gonna believe nothing they say. I'm just gonna go to, just go to the Christian church with her because it's a grand opening for the church. I said, don't you go down there. Don't go down there. I'm just gonna go. I told him that this is a scripture I gave him. I said, put off that weak nature. Take control of your house. Take control of that. Put off that weak nature. He went on down there anyway. The next time I hear from him, he had on the dress and nails was colored and everything, a wig and everything. Full-blown transsexual. Yeah. Put off that weak nature. You was the weak one in the house anyway. You had the dress on anyway. It just manifested itself. Spiritually, you had the dress on when she told you, get down here to that church house. Yes, ma'am. And you went on down there. And you went on down there. Next thing you know, you putting on her dresses. Y'all switch roles. Y'all switch roles. She's the authority in the house. Put off that weak nature. Put off that weak nature. I understand. I talk, me and Deke, we talk about it all the time. Why are these women controlling these men? I don't understand it. I just don't get it. I'm leaving you. Bye. Go. You want to go? See ya. All right. 14 and 15.
Verse 15.
Mm-hmm.
And set aside the thoughts that are most heavy unto thee, and haste thee to fly from these times.
Mm-hmm. Come on.
For yet greater evils than those which thou hast seen happen shall be done hereafter.
So hereafter, greater evils in Ezra's time, greater evils than what Ezra has seen is going to take place in that 1.5 time. So it's going to get wickeder as the earth get older. It's going to get wickeder and wickeder and wickeder. Come on.
For look, how much the world should be weaker through age.
The older it get, the weaker it is. Come on. Listen now. I'll put my Isha on blast for this because she always say this too. She is like, she just don't understand how weak the men are now. She said she just never seen men that's just, they scared, they hold themselves, they just so weak. They like little girls. She said there ain't no real manly men around. What's going on? They all got on pink fluorescent shoes, Yeah, they are. The skinny jeans, and they be twerking too. They be twerking too. The men, they be twerking. The boys. And whereas they got to get their weight up. So who's feeding these boys? They got to, get a sandwich or something. What's going on? Never seen so many young men that's like, 90 pounds. What's going on with that? All right. All right. Was that all? Was that all of it?
No. So much the more shall evils increase upon them that dwell therein.
So much more shall evils increase. These prophecies are being fulfilled in the time, and it's time for preparation because there's much more evil that's coming up on the earth. All right, now let's go to Luke 21 and 25. Luke 21 and 25.
The book of Luke, chapter 21, verse 25.
Come on.
And there should be signs in the sun
Mm-hmm.
and in the moon
Come on.
and in the stars
Mm-hmm.
and upon the earth distress of nations with perplexity, the sea and the waves roaring.
Was that it?
That was all 25.
That's all of 25? Let's see. Let's read down to 28.
There's Salaki. Men's hearts failing them for fear and for looking after those things which are coming on the earth.
Mm-hmm.
For the powers of heaven shall be shaken.
Come on.
And then shall they see the Son of Man coming in a cloud with power and great glory.
And great glory. Read.
And when these things begin to come to pass, then look up.
Look up. Come on.
And lift up your heads.
Come on.
For your redemption, Salaki, for your redemption draweth nigh.
Your redemption draws nigh. When you begin to see the signs, and you watching for the signs, and you see the signs appear, then you ought to look up because your redemption, that you are in the actual generation, that the Most High, that the Messiah will appear. We in that generation. I want you to know we are in that generation. The sign of the sun, like verse 25, the sign of the sun can only do two things. The sun can either go out. We know, according to the scripture, the sun will never fail. Or it can heat up. We know these past few years, there's been an uptick in the heating of the earth. So there's only two things that can be a sign in the sun. It could either go completely out or it can heat up. We've seen it heat up. The temperatures rising all over the earth. There's a sign in the moon. Sign of the moon is not functioning properly, losing its gravitational pull, change in the Earth's atmosphere, causing the changes in the earth, oceans and the rivers. And we've seen an uptick in that, have we not? With hurricanes, have we not? With typhoons, have we not? Seen these things. A sign in the stars. Sign in the stars is an abnormal appearance of lights in the sky. Everybody is starting to see UFOs now. Those are the signs of the stars. You look up, you see stuff move. What is that? What's going on there? What's that blinking? There's something that shot and moved and came back. These are the signs. We seeing all these things that I'm saying are signs that the Bible is talking about in Luke here. We're seeing these in our generation. In our generation. In our lifetime. We're seeing it. At the same time, we're seeing nations at war. Now, at the beginning of the lesson, we played a little clip from the NATO, Secretary General NATO. And he's preparing an exercise. And this hasn't been done. This hasn't been done since the Cold War. where they are actively collecting a coalition of NATO fighters and American fighters. Exercising, preparing, getting ready for war with Russia and its terrorist groups, certain terrorist groups. Iran, as we was talking about the carpenters, these are the carpenters. Iran is carpenter. Iran is one of them. Yemen is another. These carpenters are skilled in guerrilla warfare. They're skilled in guerrilla warfare. So everybody see what's happening, what's going on in the Red Sea? Do y'all know what's happening in the Red Sea? The same prophecy I started off with in Zechariah 1:18-21. That's being fulfilled right before our eyes. Right before our eyes, the carpenters is going crazy. They're attacking the U.S. in the Red Sea and the Suez Canal. They're attacking the U.S. over the war in Israel. And Russia is preparing, saying they want to get down. But who's their allies? China's their ally, right? They formulated something called the BRICS, right? And they even have allies in the Western hemispheres. America's in trouble. America's in trouble. It's been a bully too long. Folks ain't scared no more. If you think people scared of the U.S., you are sadly mistaken. They are no longer scared of the U.S. No, they used to be. They used to be. Yeah. All right. Let me grab this article from Al Jazeera. And you notice a lot of the articles I get don't be based in America. A lot of them, some of them do, but not a lot of them. But this is from Al Jazeera. This came out on the 16th of January, 2024. And the heading of the article is multi-flag cargo ship hit by a missile in the Red Sea. And here's an excerpt from that article. It says Yemen's Houthi rebels have claimed responsibility for a missile attack on a multi-flag flag cargo ship in the Red Sea, as the United States says it has launched a new strike on the Houthi targets amid soaring tensions around key waterways. So y'all have to understand that the Houthi rebels, they call them rebels, Houthi rebels, but these fighters are Yemenite fighters. These Yemenite fighters are with the United Arab Emirates and with the Saudis. They're definitely at war. They want to say that there's they want to die down the trouble, but they're definitely at war. It goes on to say, according to the U.S. Central Command statement, the strike destroyed 4 Houthi ballistic missiles that were prepared to launch and present an imminent threat to merchant and U.S. Navy ships in the region. If you firing on Navy ships, you're at war. You can't tell me, oh, nothing's happening. It's not a big deal. And you're firing on Navy ships, U.S. Navy ships. No, there's a battle. If you're shooting and somebody's shooting back, you at war. The white man is the devil. That's why he want to say, oh, it's nothing going on. It's just, you got to watch his words. There's nothing happening. It was just a little skirmish, a little dust up. No, they got ballistic missiles they shoot at you. And you're gunning back for them. Guess what? You're at war. Let's not mince words here. You're at war in the Red Sea, in the Persian Gulf. You at war. According to the U.S. Central Command statement, the strike destroyed 4 Houthi ballistic missiles that were prepared to launch and presented an imminent threat to a merchant and U.S. Navy ships in the region. The Houthi attack on the Jafari, on the Zolgafari, involved an anti-ship ballistic missile. The statement said, adding that the ship continued its Red Sea transit after being hit, and saying it remain seaworthy. So the ship was actually hit. Watch this. Watch this. The Iran-backed Houthis have attacked what they say are Israel-linked commercial vessels since November, disrupting maritime trade routes. The Houthis say the attacks are in response to Israel's bombardment of Gaza. So that whole region is at war. That whole region is at war. This is exactly what Yahweh Shai was talking about. Wars and rumors of wars. We're almost done here. Let's get Ezekiel now. Let's go to Ezekiel 30, the 30th chapter of Ezekiel. We're almost done. We'll close it out.
What verse, Bishop?
38, go to verse 6.
30, chapter 30?
Chapter 38, verse 6.
The book of Ezekiel, chapter 38, verse 36.
Verse 6. Chapter 38, verse 6.
Okay, verse 6. Chapter 38, verse 6. Gomer and all his bands, the house of Togarmah of the north quarters, and all his bands, and many people with thee. Be thou prepared, and prepare for thyself, thou and all thy company that are assembled unto thee, and be thou a guard unto them.
So Russia is a guard for Iran. Russia is a guard for Yemen. Russia is a guard for those carpenters that will attack the West. Russia is that guard. Because if you go back up to verse 6, and Togarmah of the north quarters, historians have no doubts that Togarmah is ancient Armenia. Ancient Armenia, right? So this is more than likely around the region of the Black Sea or southern Russia. Verse 8, where we at verse 8?
We on it now. After many days, thou shalt be visited. In the latter years, thou shalt come into the land that is bought back from the sword, and is gathered out of many people against the mountains of Israel, which have been always waste. But it is brought forth out of the nations, and they shall dwell safely, all of them.
And they shall dwell safely, all of them. All right. All right, let's go to Revelations, the 9th chapter now. Just showing you the many prophecies that stating that America will be at war, or the West will be at war with Russia, and its allies would be those Arab countries. Revelations 9 and 13.
Book of Revelation, chapter 9, verse 13. And the sixth angel sounded, and I heard a voice from the four horns of a golden altar, which is before Yah.
Come on.
Saying to the sixth angel, which hath the trumpet, loose the four angels, which are bound in the great river Euphrates.
So I want everybody to get Christianity off your brain. What it says, loose the four angels which are bound in the great river Euphrates. There is no angels chained up in the Euphrates. I don't want y'all to ever think that. This is metaphoric. This is a similitude. These four angels, or anglios, messengers, are four countries in and around the Euphrates River that are going to war with the West. And they are as follows: Syria, Iraq, Iran, Turkey, among many other smaller nations. Those smaller nations make up about 23 million Arabs around the Euphrates River. The reason the Euphrates River is going to dry up is making it possible for those armies to cross the Euphrates River to war with Israel in the West. Let's get 2nd Ezra 15. 2nd Ezra 15. Let's start at verse 20. I want verses 20 and 23.
Verse 20 through 23.
Yes.
The book of 2nd Ezra, chapter 15, verse 20. Behold, saith Yah, I will call together all the kings of the earth to reverence me, which are from the rising of the sun, from the south, from the east, and Libanus.
Libanus is Syria and the western part of Turkey. The Libanus Mountains is Syria and the western part of Turkey. Come on.
To turn themselves one against another and repay the things that they have done to them.
The them here is the children of Israel. Come on.
Like as they do yet this day until my chosen. So will I do also, and recompense in their bosom.
And recompense in their bosom. Come on.
Thus saith Yah, my right hand shall not spare the sinners, and my sword shall not cease over them that shed innocent blood upon earth. The fire is gone, the fire is gone forth from his wrath, and have consumed the foundations of the earth, and the sinners like the straw that is kindled.
The sinners is like straw that is kindled. Now drop down to verse 28. Now drop down to verse 28. Let's see who he's talking about here. Let's see what armies or what people he's talking about to put vengeance upon. Verse 28 through 30.
Behold, an horrible vision, and the appearance thereof from the east.
Come on.
Where the nations of the dragons of Arabia.
The dragons of Arabia is who he's talking about. And now he's going to get more specific. Read on.
Shall come out with many chariots, and the multitude of them shall be carried as the wind upon earth.
And war, meaning they coming out for war. When it says for wind upon the earth, they coming out for war. Come on.
That all they which hear them may fear and tremble.
Read.
Also the Carmanians.
The Carmanians are the Iraqis and the Iranians. The Iraqi and the Iranians are coming out over the Euphrates. They're coming for war. They're coming for war. Come on.
Raging in wrath shall go forth as the wild boars of
That's
the
right. You know them men are wild anyway. Allah Akbar, boom, blow themselves up, right? Come on.
And with great power shall they come,
and
join battle with them.
Come on.
And shall waste a portion of the land of the Assyrians.
And shall waste a portion of the land of the Assyrians, which is the Libanus Mountains, which we just read about in verse 20. In verse 20, which is the Libanus Mountains. I know I'm moving rather quickly, but come back to the recording so y'all can get it. All right. Revelations 9 and 15. Revelations 9 and 15. Because the Arab nations will begin to form an alliance and they will begin to attack the West. The dragons of Arabia, Iran, and Iraq. Let's go to Revelations 9 and 15.
The book of Revelations, chapter 9, verse 15.
Mm-hmm.
And the 4 angels were loosed, which were prepared for an hour,
Come on.
and a day,
Mm-hmm.
and a month,
Come on.
and a year,
Come on.
for to slay the third part of men.
To slay a third part of men. This means war. With the Euphrates River, how many people know, how many of you all know that the Euphrates River has started to dry up a few years ago? It started to dry. You know why it's starting to dry? That's the Most High's will. Yeah. It makes it much easier for tanks and men to come across on dry land. Yeah. They're getting ready for war. The Most High set this thing up. He set this thing up. Read who was the 4 angels? Syria, Iraq, Iran, Turkey. The 4 angels that's coming out of the Euphrates River. All right? So these are the signs of how we know that he's getting ready to visit the earth. We see it in Scripture. He foretells us in Scripture, and we pay attention and watch with our eyes and pray that he gives us discernment on how to discern the times. How to discern the times. We must discern the times. We have to discern the times in which we are living. Oftentimes, little to no concern about situations about what we just went over. People don't care. They don't pay attention. You don't listen. You don't watch and listen to the news to see what's going on in the world around us. But we have to watch, brothers and sisters. The Bible gives us the clues, and we have to find the answers. We have to find the answers. All right. So I'll leave you with this: watch and pray, and discern the times, because we don't have much time. We don't have time to play around. We have to bear down and stay in this truth, and prepare ourselves for what's coming next. All right. We'll leave it there. I'm about to close out social media. So all of you that's in Zoom, just give me a second for our question and answer and comments. So we're coming out of the rest of our social media platform now.
Okay, questions.
War for the kingdom of Yah.
All right.